All right, so today we're diving into this really cool guide called Immune Food Solutions, and it's all built around one powerful question. What if the secret to a rock-solid immune system isn't found in a pill, but right on your dinner plate? Let's get into it.
So let me ask you something. Does this feel familiar? You're trying your best to stay healthy, but it just feels like you're always the first one to catch whatever bug is going around. It's super frustrating.
You're doing all the right things, or so you think. You're hitting the gym, you're popping your daily vitamins, but you still feel kind of fragile, You just get run down so easily. So what is going on?
Well, according to the guide we're looking at, it's probably not that you're not trying hard enough. The real issue is often a weak or compromised immune system. When your body's natural defenses are low, it's an uphill battle to fight things off. But here's the good news. You can absolutely build those defenses back up.
And that brings us to the core solution, which is actually a pretty big shift in how we think about health. It's about looking away from the medicine cabinet and looking towards the incredible power that's sitting right there in your fridge.
I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? It really hits the nail on the head. The whole idea is that the most powerful, most fundamental tool you have for building a strong body is the food you fuel it with day in and day out.
And let's be really clear here. This is not some fad diet or a magic bullet food. What we're talking about is a structured plan backed by research that's designed to give your body the exact building blocks it needs to fortify its defenses from the inside.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, great, but how do I actually do this? Well, the guide breaks it down into a really simple three-part strategy. It's a clear roadmap for putting these ideas into action.
So here they are, the three big pillars. First, you've got to start using what are called power foods. Second, and this one's a huge game changer, you've got to optimize your gut health. And third, you need to know which foods might actually be working against you and start cutting back.
Now just look at this number for a second. 70%. That's not a small piece of the pie. That's the whole thing. A huge chunk of your immune system literally lives in your gut. When you think about it, it makes total sense, right? Your gut is the main barrier between you and the outside world. So taking care of it isn't just a suggestion. It is absolutely critical.
So, to get your gut in top shape, you need this dynamic duo, probiotics and prebiotics. Here's a super simple way to think about it. Probiotics are the good guys. They're like tiny soldiers reinforcing your gut's army. And prebiotics? That's their lunch. It's the fiber that feeds those good bacteria and helps them flourish. You really need both for the system to work.
Okay, so the strategy makes sense, but what does this look like in the real world? Like, what do you actually put in your shopping cart? Let's get down to the nitty-gritty with an immune-boosting grocery list.
First up, phytochemicals and antioxidants. Sounds pretty sciencey, I know, but the concept is simple. Think of them as bodyguards for your cells, protecting them from damage. So, you want to load up on colorful stuff like berries, dark leafy greens like spinach, and of course citrus fruits, which are loaded with that vitamin C we all know and love.
Next, let's talk about omega-3s. You've definitely heard of these. They're the good fats, the ones that help cool down inflammation and get your immune cells working at their best. Fatty fish like salmon is a fantastic source, but you can also get a good dose from nuts and seeds.
And we absolutely cannot forget about minerals. They're like the spark plugs for your immune system. The guide calls out two big ones, zinc, which you'll find in almonds and pumpkin seeds, and selenium. And get this, for selenium, all you need is like 1 or 2 Brazil nuts a day. How easy is that?
Okay, this little chart here is basically your cheat sheet. It connects all the dots so you don't have to remember everything. You can just look, okay, fermented foods like yogurt. What's in it? Probiotics. What does it do? Supports my gut. Boom. It's a perfect quick reference.
So, what's the big payoff here? Why should you care about all this? Well, it's about so much more than just dodging the next cold. This is about building a real foundation for your long-term health and well-being.
And the benefits are amazing. We're talking about way more than just getting sick less. Think about having better digestion, more natural energy, and just that awesome peace of mind you get when you feel like you're in control of your health. When your body isn't constantly in battle mode, all that freed up energy can go towards, actually living your life.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. Imagine that feeling. That's the real goal, right? It's not just about not being sick, it's about being vibrant. It's about feeling awesome and ready for whatever the day throws at you.
So, to wrap this all up, let's make it real, right now. Looking at everything we just talked about, the berries, the nuts, the yogurt, the spinach, what's just one small thing you could add to a meal today?
Because that's where it starts. That's how this whole thing begins.